Candle range theory trader back with you with another video. Just looking at weekly candle threes with a bullish example. So I wanted to use this video to just focus on long candle range theory from the weekly perspective and then drop down to the daily just to see what the payout would have been. So I'm only looking at the year 2025 and we'll do like a few pairs. I'm not going to do everything. But like I said, this setup does not appear often. So we'll start right here in January. And this is January right here. Here's the first one for the year. Right here. So I'll just mark the low. I won't worry about the high. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to do the replay option. Go right here. Then drop down to the daily. So remember that we're looking at the weekly open price is going to be the most important level to try to get in at. And remember that when you have a long bias for the week, any candle range theory setup can be traded. So this was the first one, obviously, off the weekly open. If you grab that on Monday, you would have been good for about 135 pips. And then here's another one on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we'll mark the low of that one. And that one went up about 100 pips or so. So you could have got, like 80, 90, whatever, out of that. You don't try to get the whole move. Just a piece of it is all you need when you're trading candle three. You're not going to get the whole move. Don't try. Just get a good portion of it and you're good. Okay, so we'll go back out and we'll see if we can find one more on this pair before we move on to another one. This is an imperfect one right here, so I'm not going to do that one. This one kinda, but they're not all the same, so I'll go ahead and just do this one. So here's the low right here. Okay, because remember with a candle 2, all you need is for price to close inside candle 1's range. Now you don't have to necessarily trade this because sometimes if you have the standard that you like to see the close of candle 2 closer to the bottom of the range when you're long, you can do that. That's fine. So, you don't have to feel like, oh, well, I need to take every single, candle 2 that I see regardless of where it closes. I'm not saying that. So this right here was the candle 3. It was predominantly a consolidation candle, but let's see what the daily chart gave us in the way of a long expansion candle. So we actually would have got a traditional candle range theory long right here on Wednesday. So Tuesday's low right there. So candle 1, candle 2, this consolidated, and then the move didn't come until Friday. Now, another thing I like to do, though, at least for the weekly chart, is if the move actually doesn't come by Tuesday, I don't like to trade it, be it long or short, because the week is supposed to spend most of its time expanding in your direction. Can it happen later, though? Yes, it can. Okay, just for the record. But when you're trading the weekly chart as well, you like to be in near the weekly open price. And the only other standby by that would be like the candle range theory low, or you can possibly drop down to a daily. But that's where the weekly bias comes into play. So for the whole week, you're looking for longs, not shorts. So this one was meh. It wasn't that good. So we'll just get out of that. Well, but let me see how many pips it did go. If you did give it the whole week, let's see, at least on Friday, you could have got 95 pips. Okay, so it just happened. You're not going to predict when it's going to happen, but it did give you some long price side action. So that was that. All right, so let's move on to another pair. Let's try Euro Aussie. I think I already did that one for my prior video, but that was a short example. So 2025 starts here. This is one from February. So I'll mark the low here. Okay, and remember, I liked for Monday, I just want to see a straight rise, okay, because candle 2 is majority manipulation, so you're just looking for the expansion starting as soon as the week starts. That's the dream scenario. So we'll take a look at this chart on the daily now. And yeah, see, this is perfect. If only this could happen every week. It won't, but only if it could, right? So this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it was just a straight rise. No fuss, no muss. Total, it went up over 300 pips. Okay, will all the charts look like this? No, of course not. That's like the dream scenario. Okay, but you could have got something out of that. But yeah, as soon as weekly open right there, try to be in right there, and you could have been out by Wednesday or even Tuesday. If you got out on Tuesday near the high 150 pips, that's fine. Okay, so that's that. So we'll reset the chart view and try to find one more on this one for last year. Okay, yeah, we'll look at this one because this is another imperfect. Well, the candle 3 it went up, but then it retraced, but it's still fine. So that's the low, that's the high. Remember that your take profit is always going to be the candle range high. Okay, that's when you get out. Okay, so we'll take a look at this week right here. So Monday was it was a trap move. Anybody who went long here might have been in some drawdown. But if you caught Tuesday's low or even near the weekly open and rode that up, you could have rode it to the candle range high and got 174 pips. So that was good. Okay, but like I said, Tuesday is my day for weekly ranges. If it goes past that, I'm just, like I said, not ideal. Okay, so we'll exit that. Let's try let's try pound New Zealand. Okay, we're back on the weekly. So remember, we're only looking at longs in this video. Let's do a couple. I see one right here. So that's the low there. This is the week of December 2nd, 2024. Went back a little farther than I meant to, but no well. Okay, so this is our candle 3 right here. So let's go to our replay. This was like it just did a straight rise starting on Monday. Okay, no, not necessarily. Sometimes Monday will be a trap move. Okay, you just got to be aware of that. But again, Tuesday to Wednesday probably is going to be your most profitable move when you're trading the weekly. Okay, if it does what it's supposed to. Like if Tuesday closes above the weekly open here, possibly look for that continuation on Wednesday. That was a 240 pips. Okay, so Tuesday's your entry, Wednesday's your exit. Just either set a TP or as close to the high as you can get when you're long. Okay, so Monday fakeouts can be a good sign that, hey, look, this is the trap move, and then you were going to go high now. So that was a good one. Let's see if we can find one more. Yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, so you have December 1st, 8th, and December 15th, 2025. This is candle 3 right here. So go to our replay option. Let's see if Monday or Tuesday was the best trading day. Okay, so it looks like it was Monday. Now what you can do, if you want to use the prior day's range as kind of like a guide, if you want to throw a fib on it to get a level of interest, you can do that. Maybe 50% retrace. This is Monday right here. This green candle is Monday. Getting in below the weekly open if you're long can be good. Obviously, it pinned the middle of the prior day and then spiked up. So, you could have got that. But we'll just say if we got in near the weekly open, you would have got 171 pips from Monday to Tuesday. So I would say a 2-day hold really is ideal. Like I said earlier, it's fine. I wouldn't feel pressed to hold the whole week. I really wouldn't. Unless you just want to. That's not the way I trade. Okay, so that's pound New Zealand. Now let's do euro yen. We'll do a couple yens. We'll do euro yen and Aussie yen, and that'll be it. Okay, so 2025. This is an imperfect one right here, so I don't really like that one. That's just straight trended. Okay, here's one right here. I'll do one on this one and then one on Aussie, and that'll be it. There's the low. Okay, so remember candle 2, raised the prior week low, closes inside of it. This is our candle 3 on November 10th. So we'll do our replay. And let's see what the best trading day would have been for this week and where that weekly open price was. Looks like this opened on a gap. See how Friday closed here, Monday opened here, retraced, and then came up. So if you would have got in around the weekly open, from Monday to Tuesday, you could have got about 103 pips. Through Thursday, 168 pips. And that's Wednesday. Through Thursday, about 200 pips. Friday is this candle, red candle right here where it retraced on. Okay, because sometimes Friday's going to retrace on you. You know, sometimes it'll be Thursday too. That's why I say I'm not pressed to hold all week. That's just not necessary in my mind. All right, so let's do one more long example we'll do Aussie. I'll go to the weekly. 2025. Sometimes the yens, they really do move in tandem, so not all the time, but sometimes they do. This is kind of like an imperfect one right here. I'm not wild about that one. This is another imperfect one here. This is like a swing low, but I'm just not wild about that either. This one is kind of crazy, but you know what? I'm going to do it. Well, you know what? No, this is better. This one's better right here. Because it closed near the candle range low. Okay, I'll just do the low right there. Okay, so we got week 1, week 2, week 3 is November 10th. So let's do the replay. We'll drop down. We'll see what our best trading day would have been. And let's see here. Best trading day, Monday. Gave some action to the downside. No, some action to the upside, rather. Monday paid out about 92 pips, so that would have been good. If you would have held through this consolidation, it would have went up more, about 139. So, but this was the whole week here. This was the candle 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But you see how it comes back? See, that's why I'm not pressed. Take what you can get and just be happy with that. But that's a good trading example for the week long. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and take care.